Hey everyone. Hi. If you've stumbled across here, I'm not sure how, but just right off the bat, this is pretty much just like a online diary, verbal diary. Um, so yeah, if you don't want to listen to some random dude just talk about stuff, then you should move on. Um, but basically, I have so many thoughts, like I'm sure most people do, and normally I write them down and get them out. But in this stage of life, sorry, it's just easier for me to probably talk about them, and also I can save them on here. Like when you look back in your diary, you're like, oh yeah, that's so cool, I wrote that, or oish, why did I write that? Anyway, I'm just verbalizing it and putting it out here, and low stakes, and probably no one's going to follow, so I'm not too worried. Um, but it's more for my own sake, just getting stuff out, I guess. And yeah, who knows if anyone does stumble across and you can relate in any way, then that's also pretty cool. But yeah, also just to say, most of my thoughts are about just life and Christianity and the Lord. Um, so if that doesn't interest you, then yeah, you should move on instead of wasting another however long this is listening to me ramble. But if that does interest you, then yeah, you should stick around probably. Although maybe what I have to say doesn't interest you anyway. But yeah, pretty much why I'm doing this is because I find myself in quite a strange place at the moment. I would use the term as most people do, deconstructed. Um, so that's where I'm at the moment, but just trying to figure out how to reconstruct. Um, and they always say like you throw the baby out with the bathtub. I feel like I've thrown everything out and just still trying to figure out like, well, what were there other things I shouldn't have thrown out, etc., etc. And that's pretty much what this is all going to be like, just me thinking about stuff as I do and putting it out there and challenging myself, or just talking about God's goodness or whatever it looks like. But yeah, pretty much just thoughts I have and getting them out there. And I've chosen to remain faceless just because extra mission of setting up a camera and stuff. And also, I wouldn't lie, I'm probably a bit too fearful in case anyone does see this, and then like I just don't want to get all the hate. At least if I get it, then no one can see me. Like I can just disappear. But once your face is out there, it's pretty much out there. So yeah. But anyway, enough about that. A bit of background, I guess, would help. But yeah, I'm just a normal guy, and I really, really made it my life mission to pursue the Lord. Hungry, desperate, passionate, give everything I can, serve for nothing most of my life. And I did that, from a young age, growing up in a Christian home and then pursuing God after school in ministry, youth ministry, worship pastor for many years. So I've done all that stuff, and yeah, I found myself thinking like I had a strong direction and like that was where I'm going to go. And then a bit of a life change in the sense of I just had to relocate, not even far, but just somewhere else. And I think I was working in the church up until then, and then like stepping out, going to a new place. I didn't have all the pressures and stuff. I wasn't involved in anything, and I think just having that time really helped me actually go down to the depths of some of my thoughts. If you're anything like me, you have a ton of thoughts, and you can't always pursue them for many reasons. One, either you're super busy and you just don't have the time practically, or two, the thoughts are quite challenging and they don't make sense in your current environment, and for you to process them would mean that it's going against like where you're at, and that's quite challenging. So sometimes you just have to shelve these thoughts because the reality of them are too hectic for your situation, if that makes sense. And so you just shelve a lot of these thoughts, or you don't go there because you're busy. And I find like just life is designed to keep you busy. Even church and stuff, you just, there's the next thing and the next thing and the next thing, and you don't have time to really just stop and think. And when I went to a different city, I had that time to stop and think. And there were questions I'd already been asking myself, but shelved, like on a shallow level because I was too busy or afraid to go there, where now I had all this time. And also being away, I think there's quite a bit of hurt, I guess, where a lot of stuff starts. But I wouldn't say that like that's the main reason. It might have started off there, but like that got me to ask practical questions that weren't even just about me, but like what if there was someone else in my situation? and they experienced this. And if there's one, then maybe there's two, and maybe three. And so it was, yeah, I was hurt maybe by a situation or two, but like, what if that was applied to many people? And so it wasn't necessarily like, oh, I'm hurt. Da, da, da. It was more just like, what if others are experiencing this, and can this be true? And what if, and what if, and what if? And I just started asking myself questions, I guess. And those led me down into the rabbit hole, as it were. Or like they say, like you've got a ball of wool and you pull the one thread, and then the whole thing unravels. And I think I was just pulling on a thread, and then all of a sudden I found myself unwoven completely. And it's been tough and beautiful and confusing and scary and sad, and all of the emotions that make life great, I think. But in it all, like, just to say, I love the Lord. Like, Jesus is he is everything. He holds us together. Like, I haven't lost that. But some of my beliefs, how I related to God, why I came to God, purpose, all of that stuff, the desire to be this or that, you know, if you know anything about deconstruction, there's certain parts that are like you stepped away from and I've done that, and I don't want to say too much right now again, because I guess I just want to put this out there and deal with the next thing when I think of it. But right now, yeah, I'm just thinking of, I don't even know what I'm thinking of now. I just talk myself into circles. But yeah, a lot of stuff has changed, I guess. I don't believe in certain things anymore. I guess I'm trying to not say stuff in case someone's listening. I don't want to scare you away, and then I'm like, oh my word, but this is just supposed to be about my thoughts. No one's probably listening. Like, just speak whatever you want to speak. But yeah, like, definitely challenged in certain core beliefs and the ways of which we do things. And that's really what I've been, I don't want to say struggling with, but like stepping away from completely. But at the same time, you can sometimes feel a bit isolated, or like, what is my purpose then, So anyway, I've probably just spoken a bit of a ramble there. But yeah, that was my time. Bit of deconstructing, completely, actually not even a bit, and rebuilding, I guess. And this journey is probably also me in that phase of rebuilding and figuring out, like, hey, what does this look like now from this lens? And I'm just to say, I'm like super open to being wrong as well. Like, maybe I'm wrong. It's okay. I can, repent, as it were, and go back. But like, there's just parts of me that want to explore things. And I think it's just such a beautiful thing in anyone, if you're able to not make a this or that, and you can hold things, and weigh them up and go through them. And I guess it probably comes from fear. Like, if you're afraid, you can't, it's this or that. But if you're not afraid, I can hold almost anything and see, because I know who I am. I know who Christ is. I know where I'm going. So yeah, I guess that's enough for now, just because I'm getting tired of the sound of my own voice, and I feel like I've been speaking in circles. But yeah, let's see where this takes me. Like I say, I'm just going to have a thought and hopefully share it, and whatever that thought is, then yeah. And right now, as I'm ending, I'm just reminded of one of my main things in this whole journey. Like, one of my first questions was like, is God's love conditional, unconditional? That was my first like real question, and I'll probably speak about it more maybe another time. But ending this off, like, that's what I want to remind myself. Like, God's love is unconditional. Like, He loves me so much, no matter what. It's not based on anything. There's nothing I can do to earn it or deserve it. Well, like, I don't even like to say don't deserve it. I do deserve it, because I'm in Him and He's in me and He created me. But like, I didn't earn it. There's nothing I can do for it. There's nothing I can add to it or take away from it. And that realization is what got me started on this journey of God's goodness and His love, and what that actually means. And if you follow that, what the implications are for me and everyone else. And so, anyway, nice chatting to myself. um, that's it. Peace out.